Welcome to my living room. I want to show you how I took it from looking like this to this by adding some creative strip lights. The strip lights video is already made. Now, this all sounds really easy, but it actually took me 8 days to do everything. But as much as I love light strips, I don't love looking at them. I like the effect they make. You can see here on the curtains, it just highlights those folds and makes it really lush and cinematic, but I don't want to see the light strips. So I came up with this idea, and the first thing I did was look on the internet to see if anyone else had the idea. And it seems like this is a Valentina original thought. Usually people put LED light strips that face the ceiling and they put their molding on the wall. And I decided to put my molding on the ceiling and put the LED light strips pointed down the wall. So I'm calling this my window valance molding project. The point of this project is to hide the strip lights and the curtain tracks. That way it would be like a very clean look. There'd be this large barrier that's hiding all of the ugly technical stuff in the ceiling. First, I found crown molding that was actually made of styrofoam, which was great because I knew that I would have to be putting it on the ceiling. And there's not always a stud there. I had to have a certain distance from each wall, and it's actually different on each wall. This crown molding came in giant 8-foot strips, and the corners were already mitered, meaning they were already at 45 degrees. So I decided the first thing I would do is just get the corner pieces up. And then for the rest of it, I could just measure out the middle pieces and pop them up there. So using a hacksaw, I cut each piece into 2. And then I noticed that I didn't really have a good point of contact. Usually there are 4 points of contact, 3 on the long side and 1 on the short side. The 3 on the long side attach to the wall and the 1 on the short side attaches to the ceiling. But because I knew I would only be attaching it to the ceiling, I needed more surface area. So my friend Andre helped me use a jigsaw to cut off that little attachment side so that I could have a flat top. Then I went ahead and I painted every single one of those pieces. After that, I realized because they're floating in the ceiling, I would also have to paint the backside of each of the pieces. While the paint was drying, I actually took some scrap pieces to see how would I attach it to the ceiling. I had a couple of different options. The manufacturer says you can just use regular caulk, but I also bought this special styrofoam glue, and I thought, they're made of styrofoam. I can use the styrofoam glue, right? Wrong. The styrofoam glue did not hold whatsoever. And honestly, the caulk didn't do a great job either. I thought, okay, I have a brad nailer. Let me try that. But the brad nailer didn't work at all. I think it was either jammed or it just didn't have a solid enough surface. It didn't find purchase. I decided I was going to put up the first piece in an area of the living room that wasn't the hero area. You're looking at the hero area right now. The first piece went over my front door. And I tried to do it with only caulk, just like the manufacturer said to do, except it kept falling. So I took out my C-stands, handy dandy, because I'm a filmmaker, I have C-stands, and I put the arms of the C-stands up to hold the first piece of molding. Well, they actually created dents in the molding. So for the second piece, I decided to put tennis balls on the end of the stands and hold it up that way. It took 4 days to glue each piece up there, and I'm not that patient. I decided, let me go to the hardware store and rent a more powerful nail gun. At the hardware store, they told me no nail gun would work because it would just go straight through the styrofoam. They recommended doing a stapler, but there were no staples that were long enough to go through the styrofoam. So I was back at square one until I realized I could just use regular nails. So I just bought regular nails. Bada bing, bada boom. It worked perfectly. I was able to get all of the corners up within a day. Then I took the other pieces, and I'm not big on measuring, so I just held them up there and took a pencil and marked exactly what size I would need for all of the middle sections. And for those, I did the same thing. I cut them with a hacksaw, I painted them, and then I glued them in with caulk and nails. One of the most annoying parts of the process was the joints because, okay, I know I can't get the joints perfect, but I'm a perfectionist, so I tried. I tried with a rag, I tried with my finger. Eventually, I figured out that if I smoothed it with my finger and then ran a wet rag over it, that was sort of the best option. After all that, the white caulk needed to be painted. And of course, it was 3 coats of paint, but I got it done. I'm not done with the living room. You can see those shelves back there don't exactly fit the whole 50s aesthetic, but that's for next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little look into my Valence project. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty cool, right? Thanks for watching. I hope this inspired you to do your own DIY project. Until next time, bye.